Fill her up.
You're listening to the Gas Digital Network.
Conceive, believe, achieve. Shut the f*** up.
You're listening to Believe You Me with Michael the Count Bisping
Know my name yet?
and Anthony Lionheart Smith.
We are doing it. I don't know if you're aware of this. We're already going. We're rolling. Ladies and gentlemen, it's done it again. My camera keeps muting. If occasionally throughout the show today, I go dark for a split second and I don't smash up the computer, I will be immediately back. But anyway, how you doing, Anthony?
I'm good, man. I hosted a dinner party last night, and then all day today was at my daughter's first wrestling match, or wrestling tournament.
Dinner parties at the Smith household. I mean, sounds very fancy.
It was a murder mystery party.
A murder mystery party. Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. People have the audacity to claim that I've gone Hollywood, which is the stupidest thing ever, right? I am not hosting murder mystery dinner parties at the Half Mansion. Talk me through it, please. I want to know.
Well, so you buy these games. You can get them online or like Amazon or whatever. You buy this game, and then it has like certain amount of people. Like you can do it with 8 people, 10 people, 12 people, whatever. So we had like, I think 14 people, and you draw like names, and then you draw them previous, and then figure out what your character is. So this one was like set in the 70s. So I had these big bell bottom pants and a long leather jacket and a gun holster. I was a street cop, like a detective, that I was like doing detective work on this murder. And then you draw to see who's going to be the murderer, but nobody knows like who it actually is. So if you get the one that says you're the murderer, then you have a script in this, like on this paper that you have, and then you answer the questions accordingly, whether you're the murderer or not. And at the end, everyone tries to guess who they think the murderer is. And it's just a big reason to get together and hang out, have some drinks. It was like,
so it's like a real life
disco balls. Yeah. Like I had disco balls and shit all over my house, and we ate, and it was a lot of fun. But then
it
was a late night, and then I had the wrestling tournament early this morning. So
it was a late night for me as well. We had a late fight card, as I'm sure most people know. Derrick Lewis versus Sergey Spivak didn't finish till 1 o'clock in the morning. And then I drove home. So I walked in about 5 o'clock in the morning. Oh, God, that drive home. It was terrifying. No, terrifying. Have you ever been so tired? You're driving, and like I was driving along. It's pitch black, obviously. It's like 2:30 in the morning. I'm in the middle of the desert. I'm slapping my face. I've got the music on. I've got the bloody AC on cold. I'm freezing my balls off. But if it gets nice and warm and cozy, I'm gonna fall asleep. Do you know what I mean? And I was okay. But anytime it came to a point where like there was a car overtaking me, or I had to overtake a car, the fear that I was feeling, because I was like so tired. I was like, it was all in my head. Do you know what I mean? I was like, I've got to pull over and take a little nap. And I thought, no, I'll just power through. Got the job done, made it home, walked in, passed out. I feel like shit today, though. I feel like shit. I must have had 20 coffees throughout that fight night. No water, because I don't want to run to the toilet. A Red Bull, and then a Monster driving home. Headache city today, mate. My God, far too much caffeine.
Well, at least you made it. I mean, at least you made it through the night. Those are the worst ones. Like when they get announced and you get your call time and the start time, you're always so excited that it's not early in the morning and you can sleep in a little bit and you can fuck off and go do your thing. You can eat a good meal that's not at the Apex or at the venue. But then when it comes time to actually doing it, you're like, oh my God, I wish this was earlier. Because by the end of it, you're just smoked.
I love those 10 o'clock start times. For the early finals that finish at 4 o'clock in the afternoon, they're brilliant. Love them. I'm home by 7 o'clock. Anyway, in that fight night, obviously main event, Sergey Spivak versus Derrick Lewis. Sergey Spivak shocked a lot of people last night. And I'm not talking about the fact that he spoke English in his post-fight interview, which was shocking. Do you know what I mean? I was interviewing him. I'm like, this is weird. I was concerned for Lewis in that fight because I had a feeling that Spivak might have done that. And I'm not saying that I thought Lewis was underestimating him, but I think that maybe he was underestimating him because he was like, I'm just going to in the fighting meetings, he was expecting him to shoot in and catch him with an uppercut like he did Curtis Blades. Mm-hmm. And I don't want to argue with a fighter, but in my mind, I'm like, Sergey doesn't really shoot. He's going to punch his way awkwardly into a clinch. And then once he gets a clinch, you've got a real problem on your hands. Those hip throws, those modified hip throws that he does, they are so effective.
That's kind of the way you got to wrestle Derrick Lewis. The problem is you got to punch into range, which is usually the dangerous part, but it's not any more dangerous than shooting doubles and singles and dipping your head and not seeing where the punches are coming from. But everyone who's kind of upper body wrestled him has been pretty successful. It's just, I thought that he would be more mobile. I thought that he would keep his back off the fence. You can go back and look at all Derrick's fights and you can pinpoint the problem. He just hasn't fixed it yet. He backs himself to the cage. He doesn't really defend punches. He kind of just gets out of the way. Derrick's not he's either going to throw when you throw or he's going to just get out of the way. Neither one of those things are kind of conducive to being able to defend takedowns or clinches or even really counter effectively. Of course, he's got the power where he can just rip a hammer and he can punch his way through shit. But as far as, he's not got like some really dynamic Stipe Miocic type of defense where his hands are high, slipping punches and ripping counters. It's just not his style. No,
it really isn't. And like against Sergey Pavlovich, he went forward, and again, Pavlovich, that's a 50-50 firefight with them too. And he came up short on that one against Spivak. He's got to work on the ground game. Now, I don't expect him to be, because Dana said at the post-fight press conference, we love Derrick. Everybody loves Derrick. Come on, he's a solid guy. He's hilarious. He shows up. He's definitely a kill or be killed type of guy. You know what I mean? And we love those type of people in the octagon. However, struggled with, he's been clipped a few times and Tuivasa caught him with the elbows. Pavlovich caught him with a giant punch. Spivak tapped him out last night. But I'd like to see a little bit of evolution. I'm not talking about completely changing his style because that's what got him to the dance. But, and I'm not expecting him to become a bloody high-level black belt and doing helicopter arm bars anytime soon. But a better defense on the ground and an ability to get back to the feet and maybe work to guard more and things like that. But I don't want to kick a man while he's down. He was devastated last night. Absolutely devastated, probably a little bit embarrassed as well. You know what I mean? Because that's part of it. When all these people talk shit, when fighters lose fights, there it is. There's the camera popping off again. If anybody knows what StreamYard just automatically decides to cancel my camera for a second, shoot us a goddamn question. Where was I? Yeah, he was a bit embarrassed as well. So I don't want to kick a man while he's down, but we're not saying anything that he doesn't know. No, I don't. I think evolution is the perfect way of putting it, Mike. It's not changing his game. You got to add to it. And the worst thing that you can be in the UFC, especially at the highest level, is predictable. If people can predict what you're going to do, they can. It doesn't matter how dangerous you are. It doesn't matter how good you are at jiu-jitsu. Damian Maia, I have so much respect for him and his style and his game, but you knew exactly what he was going to do. So guys like Colby, guys like Tyron, guys like Gilbert Burns, the cream of the crop, those guys are going to be able to prepare for even if you're the best in the world at it, you're predictable. So if you can figure out the path, you can figure out a way around it. And that's kind of where Derrick is at right now. I think he's predictable. People know exactly what he's going to do. They know exactly what he's not going to do. And I think that's just what it is. If he can add to it and be a little bit, bring some surprises to the game, maybe back down on the level of competition just a little bit to get his mojo back. I love me some Derrick Lewis. I think that's what he thought in his mind he was probably doing. However, when you look at Spivak, he's got a habit of doing that. Tuivasa, Greg Hardy, Derrick Lewis, and there's a few others as well.
He's crazy strong. Too. I was right there ringside when he fought Greg Hardy, and like that's a big man. He had no problem manhandling him. I mean, that is he doesn't look like much, but he is just his physical strength and ability to move a body is second to none. And that
Spivak's had some tough losses. Obviously, Tom Aspinall blew right through him, right. And a few of the people.
A guy like Tom's going to, right?
To Tom's top of the food chain. I tell you what's not top of the food chain. My goddamn camera system. And it's again, and quick. It's not fine. It's not fine. Doing? I'm doing nothing.
Put your hands up.
I tell you what, stop it.
6.5 hours later.
I mean, look, listen, at the end of the day, It's not good for Lewis. It isn't. And he knows that. You know, we were going to do an interview with him, but he left the cage before we even got a chance, obviously. Very, very devastated. Sergey Spivak, though, congrats to him. You know, the better man won on the night. He's an absolute beast. He's a big, strong guy. Speaking English now. You know, he's a lovely guy. You know, when you speak to him, which is very, very rare, because he's just not much of a talker, because he's quiet and he's shy. You know, but when you do the fighter meetings, he will not talk trash at all. Because I'm trying to get it out of him. I'm trying to have a laugh. He will not tolerate it.
He was talking trash to you. He was asking you for the bonus.
Oh, that's not talking trash, though. That's just trying to get some cash. But
you ever get bothered that people think you have the say in who gets the bonuses? Like, come on, Bisping, give me the goddamn bonus. It's not me.
He came over to the thing like when we were still on the broadcast before I even got in the cage. Michael, bonus. Give me the bonus. I'm like, yeah, buddy. I'll write you a check. I tell you what, we'll make it 60,000. How's that? Because you're overdue, Sergey. 100%. There you go. Have a little drink on me, pal. But no, he's awesome. He is. Now you get to talk to him and you see the personality a little bit. It's weird because it just endears you to him so much more. All right, I want to tell you about Legacy Precious Metals, which is why I'm holding up this massive 5-ounce silver coin. Correct. Legacy Precious Metals, because you might be aware the stock market has taken a hit lately. But while the stock market has plummeted, gold has held its value. Legacy Precious Metals is the company that I trust when investing in gold and silver. They have been super helpful and their staff is easy to talk to while I have been starting on this journey. And the best part, they can ship metals directly to your door to help you put your metals in a retirement account. Check out, as I said, this massive 5-ounce silver coin, which I ordered. Now, you too can learn if precious metals are correct for you with Legacy Precious Metals free gold guide that will help answer all your questions about investing in gold and silver. Click the link or call them at 866-933-0317. As I said, Legacy Precious Metals is the company that I trust when investing in gold and silver. They have been super helpful and their staff is very easy to talk to. Gold holds its value. Stocks up and down. You want to diversify all of it. You want a bit of real estate if you can. You want a bit of stocks and you want a bit of precious metals. Legacy Precious Metal. What else is going on? It turns out the Chinese are spying on the good old US of A. They got spy balloons, Anthony. Are you aware of this?
I am aware of this, and I'm like Brian. I'm like the Wish version of Brian. Like I'm a little bit of a conspiracy theorist, but like not as crazy as Brian. So I've been following this Chinese balloon thing, and there's this podcast I listen to just very infrequently. It's more like clips and YouTube shorts, but and he's like a military veteran, and he's got this really popular podcast now, and he was going off about. In my brain, I was like, well, let's just get the balloon and just shoot it down or something. It's like no big deal. What I didn't realize is that by shooting it down, it doesn't really matter because they already got all the data. And I didn't know how far it had traveled, like from the Pacific Northwest all the way to the southeastern edge of the country, and then a 1,500-mile radius like along the horizon. I just wonder what do the Chinese want? I didn't think it was that big of a deal. Like, what are they flying around and looking for?
It is good that they shut it down, though, because the Chinese are saying that it was just a weather. They're gathering information and data on the weather, and the winds just kind of blew it off course, right? Yeah. You know what I mean? So they shot it down. Now it's in the Atlantic Ocean. Yeah, and by the way, I was watching Sky News, and they had some meteorologist, some weather expert, and he was talking about the altitudes of where they're at. And saying all you got to do if it gets out of control, you change the altitude, because apparently this balloon has the ability to do so. So this expert on the weather was saying that is absolute nonsense. The excuse what they used, and yeah, they've shot it down. They got to go get it from. It's about 50 feet down in the Atlantic apparently. Once they get it, then they can take a look at it, and then they can say you're full of shit. Mm-hmm. Or, all right, fair enough. You're just collecting data on the weather. You go into a lot of effort sending a balloon to America to get data on the weather. You know, I mean. Yeah, and China have said that they're going to respond. Have you seen this? World War III is on the horizon, guys.
Well, I didn't realize what. Hold on.
We gotta have Brian's take. We gotta have Brian's take. Come on, Brian.
All right. this isn't that crazy. Just look into the military experiments with balloons over the past 70 years or so, and there's some sketchy things in there. That's all I'm saying.
No, there's
Like
always
what?
sketchy things when it comes to military and China and America and Russia and world power struggles. Yes, Brian?
They use them as delivery systems for weapons, and they're very hard to detect because they don't have a large radar signature. Anyway, just look into that.
Yeah,
Well,
no, you're
I
okay.
didn't realize
I
how
don't need
big of a
to.
deal cameras were. Like, if it's just a camera, it's just recording data. Like, I'm so stupid sometimes. Like, who gives a shit? Like is that a huge deal? But I didn't realize like it flew over every single nuclear plant, every power grid, every secure facility. Like, oh, that's a problem. That's a big problem.
Yeah,
We don't
yeah.
need that.
When I heard it was flying over like all the nuclear facilities, I'm like, well, that's very convenient, isn't it? It just happens to be
What's the
out
way
of
the wind
control
blew?
because of the weather, but it's going over the nuclear facilities in Montana or wherever they were. So yeah. It's I knew Brian would have some fun with that. But what we're going to have fun with, because I don't know much about that stuff, and it's an MMA podcast. And if you want to know, listen, I admit when it comes to that shit, it's not my forte. It's not my wheelhouse, okay? But we're not a conspiracy balloon podcast. We're an MMA podcast. And right now, the big news is, it's massive news, and not Derrick Lewis losing. We love Derrick, and, stay positive, brother. Can't wait to see you back in there. But Conor McGregor versus Michael Chandler. Tough coaches. Tough is back. The Mac is back. Chandler's back. I mean, come on. Epic fight. I mean, I've got a lot of things, a lot of opinions, but I'll let you have the first take on today.
Well, my number one opinion is I'm so pissed off at Michael Chandler.
Why? For not telling us?
He was sitting right here speaking as if he had no idea what he had coming up next.
What a snake.
What a little snake in the grass.
I thought we had a connection.
So did I. Me and him were texting after the show. We were gonna connect, and because we're working the desk this weekend in Bristol. If I was getting a Conor McGregor fight and coaching the Ultimate Fighter, I'd be telling the desk work to fuck off.
You said, look. Oh yeah, for sure.
Yeah, I'm out of here. But we were talking about the desk, and he wanted to connect because he'd never done a pay-per-view before. So we were gonna, I was just gonna just kind of talk over the flow of the show and try to be a good teammate. Didn't say anything about it then. And then once he got it, I texted him like, "Damn, you couldn't give us the lowdown even behind the scenes." He's ghosted me. He hasn't responded.
Oh, he's not good at responding to messages. I know that because I was texting him galore to come on the show. And he, for the most part, I texted him first of all and to ask him. And then after that, he was always the one saying to me, Mike, podcast. And I'd respond and then you just get nothing. Radio silence. And I'm like, you asked me. So eventually I'd message him again. Nothing. Yeah. And he'd respond. And he'd go, yeah, sure. Monday. I'm like, yeah, cool. I'd say 2:30. Nothing. That's what he does. That's his move. He's a little tease.
Well, he's ghosted me. So he went big time already.
Well, he is Michael Chandler, let's be honest.
I'm sure he's busy.
Hey, I tell you what, listen, he said he's here for a good time, not a long time. I mean, he's been, as we all know, what a signing for the UFC, but this fight will be ridiculous. And I got to say, there could have been a lot of easier matchups for McGregor to come back with. Now, obviously, you could counter that by saying, well, Chandler's very hittable. Chandler's got the kind of fight IQ and the desire to entertain that's going to play into McGregor's hands. Yeah, sure. Granted, fair enough. There's still easier matchups. When I heard about the Tony Ferguson rumor, I thought, oh, well, that makes sense. Tony's lost 5 in a row. You know what I mean? He's, with respect, damaged goods. Michael Chandler is always in a war, always exciting. He could choose to wrestle him. He took Dustin Poirier's best shots, went to a decision. Took Gaethje's best shot, went to a decision, right? So it's not an easy fight for McGregor. Certainly, by the time it comes round, that'll be like 2.5 years outside of the octagon when there already had been, a diminishment of the skill, shall we say. Timing, getting older, getting heavier, getting bigger, breaking a leg, losing the mojo. It's not an easy fight to come back from.
No, it's not at all. And I agree with everything you say. I do think it's interesting how circumstances in this sport change everything. Like had Michael Chandler beaten Dustin Poirier, I don't think that this opportunity is there, because I think that he's getting himself into the title hunt, and he's in a pretty special position. I mean, I don't know. Like he might put himself next in line with a win over Dustin Poirier. With the way that division is, you never know. He did
just lose to Oliveira though. But you're right. I mean, it's all if buts and maybes.
Right. It's just wild how it's everything, especially with Conor. Everything is so fluid. Like in order to get that Conor McGregor red panty night, you got to almost accidentally find yourself in the right spot at the exact right time. Like when Conor's ready, you need to be ready. When he's ready, your career needs to be in a certain spot, your popularity needs to be in a certain spot, and he needs to feel a certain way about you to essentially choose you, what a crazy position to be in. It's almost like that's why he is mentally wins those battles, because he's the one who holds all the cards. He makes all the decisions. So he almost puts himself in the driver's seat a lot of times. And he didn't with the Dustin fight, with this, at least the last one. Like Dustin gave him the ability to try to get that one back. It wasn't Conor offering him an opportunity.
Yeah. I mean, I guess they were one apiece, so the rubber match needed to happen, and the quadrilogy also. But let me ask you a question, and this is not my opinion, because obviously, I don't speak for the UFC. I haven't spoken to Dana at length. I don't do that. I don't sit down and have dinner and they tell me what they're thinking. It just occurred to me, though, because, listen, without question, we all know McGregor's the cash cow. You know what I mean? He generates the most pay-per-views. But he's not going to be around forever, right? So as a company, and then this is just a theory. It's not a theory. It's just a thought that I had as I was driving back home last night. Bored out of my head trying to not fall asleep, so it could be way off. But obviously McGregor's not going to be here forever, right? Everyone comes and goes. And the fall from grace, let's be honest, has kind of happened, right? He was a two-weight division champion. Now he hasn't won as much recently, granted against very good opposition. No shame in losing to Khabib or Poirier or anyone like that. So I'm wondering if they're thinking, we're not going to have McGregor for too many more fights. So let's put him in the biggest blockbuster possible, because if they thought he was going to be here for a while, you'd give him an easier fight that maybe wouldn't sell as many pay-per-views to get him back to winning ways and then continue to fight. I mean, he's made all the money, he's done all that stuff, but he loves to fight. So they might be like, well, he's not going to fight many more times because he's got so much money and he's done it. He's achieved what he set out to do, but he still loves it. So he's going to come back and fight. So let's put him in against Chandler, because that will do ridiculous numbers, because I want to see that fight as a fan. If you love exciting fights, I mean, to be honest, now I will see any Michael Chandler fight. Chandler has delivered. Chandler is a fan favorite. Him versus McGregor will deliver. I don't know. What do you think to that thought process?
I think you're right, but I almost wonder if they think even deeper than that. Like, let's put him in a super competitive blockbuster fight that's going to do huge numbers. But even if he loses, you don't really lose. Because Michael Chandler, the fight's going to be exciting. It's going to sell big. If Chandler wins, it's going to be an exciting fashion. So you're going to be able to use that marketing and all that material and those highlights to build the next one. I mean, you could build him right in, like build Michael Chandler right into another blockbuster fight coming off of a win over Conor McGregor. Look what it did for Dustin Poirier. 2 wins in a row over Conor really got Dustin over that kind of hump into that superstar status where you start talking about Dustin versus Nate Diaz super fights. And he put himself, he made the Conor Nate Diaz thing into like a trilogy, whether it's Conor, Nate, Dustin, and trying to figure out who's going to match up with who. Maybe it doesn't matter if Conor loses, and then you can still continue to build that star.
It doesn't matter if Conor loses. He's one of those guys that, as you say, win or lose, you're still going to watch him. He's still got a loyal fan base. He's still polarizing. He's still the biggest star. You know what I mean? There's just something about McGregor. He's got that it factor, and there's probably never going to be anybody like him again. So, I mean, you see it. People's favorite fighters or the biggest stars in sports, even when they dip off, they're still going to be major attractions. I mean, look at Mike Tyson. He fell from grace. He's how old is he now? I don't know how old he is, but him versus Roy Jones. Roy Jones. Roy Jones. I don't know what the pay-per-views were, but I'm guarantee a lot of people tuned in, and that's him at what, 56, 57 years old, or God knows what he is. You know, McGregor's got that type of appeal, and he always will have, win or lose, you know, as long as he chooses to do it. On the Ultimate Fighter, though, you know, do you like a bit of controversy? Do you think McGregor will get Chandler? Because Chandler's like such a, what's the words I'm looking for? Because I'm so tired. He's a gentleman. He's not controversial. You know, he's not going to be using foul language and all the rest of it. Do you think McGregor will be able to pull a little bit of controversy out of Michael Chandler?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, Chandler he's a very, very nice guy, but he's also uber competitive, like crazy competitive. And I think if Conor starts playing the mind games, I think Michael Chandler I think he'll dig his heels right in and play the game. And I don't know who that benefits though.
It benefits the viewer and the UFC,
for sure.
Yeah, that's it. That's it. Top and bottom of it. Everyone's loving that. Because the thing is, when you're coaching the Ultimate Fight, there's a lot of little things, you know, that can cause tension. You know, your the schedules of your training sessions and all the rest of it, you know. And Conor, notoriously, pardon the pun, wasn't intended, is late for everything. Do you know what I mean? So they will, but you got to remember, this isn't just a press conference. This is a TV schedule with a staff of God knows how many people, a production company filming this. So they're going to have to try and cater it to McGregor's tardiness, to use an American term, lateness for the English. They won't know what that means. Well, I didn't know till I moved there anyway. You know, and that might start getting on Chandler's nerves a little bit. You got to remember the schedule of the Ultimate Fight is really tough because you got training sessions twice a day. But on those days, let's just say you have a fight announcement on one day, as well as your 2 training sessions. For each team has 2 training sessions. So you got your fight announcements one day. Then the next day, you've got the weigh-ins. The day after that, you've got the fight, as well as the 2 trainings, 4 sessions a day for each team. And then it's just rinse and repeat. And when that fight happens, the next day, it's a fight announcement. Then it's the weigh-in. So it's a relentless schedule. You got to go back and forth to the gym twice a day. Then you got to go back for the fight announcement, the weigh-ins, and the fight. Then you're going to do what's called the confessionals. You know, those little parts where they're sitting there talking to the camera and saying what happened. And this guy pissed me off and blah, 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 blah. They call them
How often do you have to do those?
2-3 times a week. So for the coach, it's a lot of work. Now McGregor knows what he's getting himself into, and I'm sure the UFC and the production company know what they're getting themselves into as well. So I'm assuming some allowances will be made because, you know, he's McGregor and he's going to pull in the viewers. I doubt he would have to show up as many times as I did, and even I didn't show up every time either, and that was way back in the day.
Man, I've always been like disappointed that I missed the opportunity to do the Ultimate Fighter. I tried out for it a couple times and I never got to. I mean, I could still coach it, which would be a lot of fun. It'd be fun to coach the Ultimate Fighter someday. Would
you bring me on as an assistant coach for the day?
No, for like a week.
Oh,
I need you for at least a week.
I'm coming in, brother.
I did go in as an assistant for like a guest for a day with Stipe, and it was very uncomfortable. It wasn't I wouldn't say uncomfortable. I'm not.
It's weird, isn't it?
It's weird. Like when I just walked in. You can hear
a pin drop.
Yeah. Like when I first walked in, I just went up and said, "What's up" to Stipe. And then fist bump some of the guys. They're like, "All right, Anthony, can you go out and can you come in and do that again?" I was like, well, now it's not real. This isn't the first time. It's weird now. Like, you just made it awkward.
Yeah. No, but, hey, that's reality TV.
And then I rated the equipment.
Reality TV. It is though. It is. But that bit was good. Can you do that bit again? Or right now we're going to get you all walking in or whatever it is. So it's not scripted or whatever, but there's a format they have to keep. So yeah, who would you like to coach against? If you got to be a coach, who would it be against? The champ, of course. You and Yuri Prohaska.
That would be fun. Me and Yuri would be fun.
Yuri was at the fight last night.
Was he?
I went to he was at the fight.
Did you get some info?
No, we had a little chat real quick because I was drinking so much coffee, as I said. I was pissing every 2 seconds. Right, the producers were getting a bit pissed off. Pardon the pun again. I'm like, I need a toilet. I need a piss. And they're like, Jesus, Mike, it's the main event's about to start. I'm like, I'll be 15 seconds. I will sprint, I will piss, and I'll be right back. And they went, right, go quick. So I sprint, I run in, I have a piss, still wash my hands, of course. My hands are all wet. I come out, and who's there trying to come in? It's a tiny little trailer thing. It's not like a big toilet. It's on wheels. And as I walk out, There's Yuri Prohaska looking dapper in the suit, and he goes to shake my hand. I said, "Oh, I can't, Yuri." I said, "My hands are soaking wet. I've just had a piss." He says, "No, please, still, I don't care. Shake." I'm like, "My hands are starting." He's like, "I don't care." And I'm like, I fucking love this guy. He's like, "Yes, I don't care. I don't care." I'm like, "You're fucking awesome." I'm not sure I'd do that. If someone said, "I've just washed my hands, they're soaking wet," I'm like, "All right, fist bump. You know." But yeah, Yuri was there. He's bigger than what I thought. He's a pretty big guy.
Is he? I've never been around him in person. I think it'd be fun to coach against him, or I don't know. I think Blachowicz would be fun to coach against, just because he seems like the kind of guy that I could fuck with big time, and he wouldn't get all flustered and out of sorts. Like, I feel like I could prank him like every single day, or just constantly jab at him, just fucking with him, and he would laugh it off. Like, I think he would be fun.
Blachowicz has got a good sense of humor. Yeah, whereas Yuri, I mean, I don't know him, but from what I see of him, he might start.
It doesn't seem like that's
getting a little mad and a little annoyed, and might show up in your house in the middle of the night with a samurai sword,
right? You know, yeah,
and try and murder you.
Yeah, we don't need that. But probably Blachowicz. We'll stick with that.
Let's go. You and that would be good. All right, let's just talk about Rhone really quick. What is Rhone? I hear you say. Well, Rhone is a men's clothing brand that helps you get ready for any occasion. Okay, they do dress shirts, comfortable pants, quarter zips, and polos. You never have to worry about what to wear when you have the Rhone Commuter Collection, because the Commuter Collection is the most comfortable, breathable, and flexible set of products known to man. And here is why. Well, mobility is everything. Rhone's comfortable four-way stretch fabric provides breathability, flexibility that leaves you free to enjoy what life throws your way for your commute to work or for your 18 holes of golf. Look, listen. Sometimes you go out and about for the day, you want to go to work, then afterwards you might want to play golf, you might want to go to the gym, go for a run, whatever it is. These are perfect for everything, okay? And the quality is fantastic. They very kindly send me some, and they look good, they feel good, they're very comfortable, they stretch well, and of course they come with Gold Fusion anti-odor technology, so you will be smelling fresh and clean all day long. And on top of that, Rhone is 100% machine washable, so you can ditch the dry cleaner altogether, and they won't shrink, which is a big problem if you stick it in the dryer. And the versatility of the Rhone Commuter pants and what makes them the top pants for being at work and then hurrying off to the gym. Of course, they have next level mobility. I'm telling you, they sent me some of these. They are so comfortable. They look smart. They look stylish. They're very versatile. Wear them to work, wear them to the gym, so you're sorted for all day long. The Commuter pants are light. They are soft, and they keep you feeling like you've been wearing sweatpants all day long, but you're looking as fresh as ever. The Commuter Collection can get you through any work day and straight into whatever comes next. Head to Rhone.com/believe, RHONE, Rhone.com/believe. Use the promo code BELIEVE. You will save 20% off your entire order. That is 20% off your entire order when you head to Rhone.com/believe. Looking for some versatile clothes? Don't want to pack a full bag if you're going out for the day. You want to go to work. You want to go to the gym. You want to play golf, play football, whatever it is that you want to do, Rhone has you covered. They got a complete collection, but do check out the Commuter Collection. Rhone.com/believe. 20% off your entire order. Fedor Emelianenko, switching gears. Final fight last night, the farewell party. You had half of the UFC and Pride roster in attendance. That was very cool. I saw the pictures this morning on Instagram when I woke up. Fedor Emelianenko, thoughts on him, Anthony?
I mean, I don't know if there's anybody that embodies legend more than Fedor. I do find myself disappointed, though, that we didn't ever see him in the UFC versus some of the guys that I think we all regarded as the best in the world. I think Fedor versus Brock was a huge miss. That I think everyone kind of knows that story where
Fedor versus Randy. That was the one we wanted
that was
to
the
see.
big one, right? Like early when he was still young. So
Yeah.
I think there was a lot of missed opportunities and a lot of missed big checks for Fedor. I don't necessarily think he's probably a guy that needs a bunch of money, but it was, like their salaries came out last night and he made like $100,000, which I thought was wild.
It said Ryan Bader made 150K and Fedor made 100K. And I was just scrolling Instagram and I saw that. And then the top comment, because I didn't click on the comments, but the top comment was from Josh Thompson. And he's like, no, this is bullshit. You guys don't understand, right? That is just what they declare to the commissions. They make way more on the side. I'm like, if there's a discretionary bonus, perhaps, or if there's a pay-per-view bonus, but that wasn't a pay-per-view. Listen, and I get Josh Thompson defending Bellator because he's an employee of Bellator and whatnot. But generally, that when the athletic commissions post that, that's the pay, and they even say in those articles, don't they? This doesn't include bonuses, and it doesn't include pay-per-view bonuses, which is the big one if you're somebody like Fedor or a champ in the UFC. 100K. I still think that was very, very low.
Yeah, I thought so too. And even if there are other agreements that some athletes in combat sports get into, where there's separate contracts where this is what your bout agreement says, and we're going to add whatever on this side. But even typically, and again, I don't know Fedor's business. I'm not trying to count his money, but like typically, that number isn't far off from what is declared, what is shown to the athletic commission. So even if it was 100 and 100, I still feel like that's really low.
I guarantee there was some kind of side deal. Guaranteed. There's no way I would imagine that Fedor's management had him fighting for his final fight for 100K. Number one, at 40, whatever he was, 46, I'd assume there's two reasons probably why he fought again. One, the money, and two, because he wants to go out on a win and he feels he can still do it. That's generally always the way. When fighters stick around too long.
I didn't think that was going to happen at all. I don't think he had a chance.
Ryan Bader's a monster. But look what he did to Rampage, face planted in one shot, and granted, Rampage again passed
and dropped Matt Mitchell too.
Yeah, he is a monster. He is a monster, and he's an absolute legend of the highest degree. But still, when he fought, that was cool seeing those guys there last night. Because remember, I got to say this, and this isn't me sticking up for the UFC like you all accuse me. Dana and the UFC did try to make it happen. They did try to sign him, but M1, his management, wanted to do a co-promotion with the UFC, and they wouldn't allow that to happen. So it never materialized. Greatest heavyweight of all time. That is what he's often labeled as. What do you reckon to that, Anthony? I think there's a very good case for it, if I'm honest.
I do. I think, I don't know if it's I don't know how strongly I feel about that, but there's definitely an argument to be had. There's certainly you can make the argument in his era, like if you were to break, I think football is the same, and in a lot of other sports, like the greatest receiver of all time, the way that the turfs are and equipment and training and how people are just coming up earlier, like the greatest receiver in the 60s or 70s is not gonna touch the greatest receiver today.
Yeah.
But that doesn't mean that he wasn't the greatest at his time. And I think that Fedor, absolutely, you can make the argument he was the greatest. If we were to break MMA in our history, or short history, into maybe two different eras, I would say he was definitely the greatest heavyweight, maybe the greatest fighter of his era.
Yeah, because they do have that in the UFC. They even have the modern era. Laura Sanko was the first female commentator of the modern era, because on UFC 1 there was a female commentator, Kathy Long, which I think is forgotten about. No offense to Laura, but of the modern era, I think when you're talking about old school eras, whatever that would be called, the historic era, the OG era, the pioneer era, the back in the day era, whatever you want to call it, for sure he's up there. I mean, it was guys like him and Randy Couture and all those legendary fighters around Pride and UFC, when there was the whole Pride versus UFC, who's best. It was those guys, that era, that was kind of responsible for the UFC and mixed martial arts, not UFC, mixed martial arts blowing up into the sensation and the popular worldwide sport that it is today. Without those guys, we would not be sitting here having a conversation, and certainly wouldn't be, I would not be living the life I have. But when you look at the career and the people that he beat.
Oh, the names.
Semi Shield, Heath Herring, Nogueira, Kazuki Fujita. That was again the rematch from when he lost that one by a cut. Gary Goodridge, Mark Coleman, Kevin Randleman, Nogueira, TK again, Krokop, Juliozinho, Coleman, Mark Hunt, Matt Linland, Tim Sylvia, Andrei Arlovsky, Brett Rogers. I mean, So many legends. And I'm skipping a few there. I'm not going through every one. Renato Babalu Sobral. And then he lost 3. Verdum, Antonio Silva, Dan Henderson knocked him out. But then again, Jeff Monson, Ishii, Pedro Hizar, Fabio Maldonado.
I trained with Ishii one time.
Yeah.
That guy was a goddamn monster.
I trained with him as well.
Oh, yeah. Maybe I sucked really bad back then, and so maybe I don't have like a fair assessment of where he actually is. But
no. He's a beast. He's a big, strong dude. Yeah.
I mean, just
he's
the judo
a big, strong judo guy. Yeah.
I was upside down more often than I was on my feet.
Yeah, I used to train at Eric Paulson's, and he would always have Ishii in there and a few other people. But yeah, and then of course comes back to Bellator. Frank Mir knocked him out. Chael Sonnen knocked him out. Rampage knocked him out. So yeah, I mean, Fedor's one of those guys. He's an absolute legend of the highest degree, and I loved watching him. And yeah, thank you for the memories, and thank you for helping grow this sport. He's up there. If you were to do, and this is such a cliched question, but the Mount Rushmore of mixed martial arts, who is on the Anthony Smith Mount Rushmore of mixed martial arts? So you don't have to include me. It's fine. I know you'd say me, but it's fine. Don't worry about it.
Okay, so I'll take you off, and I'll add someone else just for the conversation.
Okay.
I would put Fedor on the Mount Rushmore for sure. I would put Royce Gracie for sure.
Gotta have Royce.
I would, and maybe this one's a little controversial, but I would put Chuck Liddell on the Mount Rushmore.
Okay. Hey, this is your Mount Rushmore, Anthony.
Right. Well, I think Chuck, he really was that initial first push of mainstream. He was getting kids shaving mohawks on their head and putting fake tattoos on the side of their head and being him as for Halloween. You know what I mean? That was every guy you talk to that's in his 40s or late 40s. I used to love the UFC back when Chuck Liddell, he was that first initial push. I would put Chuck Liddell.
First breakout star, he really was.
Yeah. So you say things so much better than I do. First breakout star.
Tito as well. He was there as well at the same era.
See, I don't think if there's no Chuck, there's no Tito. To be fair.
Yep. There's no Tito, there's no Chuck. Because they had that rivalry, though.
Yeah.
They
were friends,
those
right?
great rivalries which make somebody big. It's like Khabib and Conor. Now, of course, Conor didn't need Khabib and Khabib didn't need Conor. But together, that rivalry resulted in the biggest pay-per-view that the company's ever seen. However, Hall of Mount Rushmore, and then Harrington and Bryan, have a quick think. I want yours, but I want it quicker and more succinct and more to the point than Anthony's. You don't get 5 minutes to think about it. You just get a quick bam, 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 bam. 4 names. Anthony, Rushmore. You got Royce. You got Chuck. You got...
Fedor,
one more.
John Jones.
Is it 4 or 3?
It's 4. John Jones.
You got John Jones. Oh,
yeah. I don't have to like him.
I respect your decision.
Yeah, it's the greatest of all time. Unfortunately,
who's on Mount Rushmore? Actual Mount Rushmore. Who's on there? The founding fathers.
That's I've been there 10 times, 12 times, maybe.
Is it impressive? Because it looks impressive. I've never been there.
It's super impressive. It's cool. It's really, really cool. There's actually a cooler monument. There's actually a cooler monument closer, or that's really close to it, called Crazy Horse. And Mount Rushmore, Crazy Horse is so big that Mount Rushmore can fit on Crazy Horse's cheek.
Brian, let's get a visual on the screen for the English and anyone that doesn't know about this. I mean, most people should know about it, but you never know.
Sure.
And I want to see Crazy Horse as well.
That's Mount Rushmore. And give me 1 second to pull up Crazy Horse.
Ryan, who are them people? I'm going to
guess, right? Benjamin Franklin has to be one of them.
No, it's Lincoln.
Theodore Roosevelt,
George Washington, Thomas Jefferson.
Yeah.
That's 3. Who's the 4th?
Lincoln.
Oh, you're okay. Well, you never said that. You said that like
I did. It was the first thing I said. Sorry.
Oh, was it really? I didn't catch it.
It's all right.
Wi-Fi, internets. Harrington, go on then. Harrington, welcome to the show, buddy. I thought you would have jumped on and come out with something by now. How are you, buddy?
I'm doing great. Real quick, succinct. For me, just for the amount of women that have gotten into the sport because of her, Ronda Rousey has to be on there.
That's a good point. That's a fair point.
For the fact that, idiots like the way you're talking about Chuck for guys in their 40s, guys in their 30s look at Conor McGregor the same way. So he, in my mind, has to be on there. It kind of sucks having two people from like the same general era. GSP for sure, and Hoyce.
So Hoyce, GSP, and who?
McGregor
Ronda.
and Rousey.
All right. Disagree.
I would actually not have Fedor on there. My list looks almost exactly like everybody else's. It's Hoyce Gracie, John Jones, Chuck Liddell, GSP, but I would put Baz Rutten on that instead of Fedor.
Okay, well, I'm not going to argue with Baz being on there. He's a legend.
I'm not going to argue that.
He's just. I think he's been a better ambassador to people into MMA.
He's a great ambassador, but having John Jones and Conor McGregor on there, if we're doing a list of the biggest,
I didn't say Conor McGregor.
No, but Harrington did. And Anthony had John Jones. If we're doing the best fighters, then yeah, but not the founding fathers of MMA, the people responsible. I would say Fedor, Hoyce, because you can't not have Hoyce on there,
right? You have to.
You know
only really got a 3-person Mount Rushmore because everyone has to start with Hoyce.
And,
yeah, exactly.
And to be fair, the Mount Rushmore is not the founding fathers. It's just 4 very influential presidents throughout the history.
I never said they were founding fathers.
Oh, yeah, I'm letting you know. I'm just letting you know.
I asked a question. I said, what are they? I said, I don't even know who's on there. But Hoyce Gracie, Fedor Emelianenko. It needs definitely a Chuck, I reckon. A Chuck. Yeah, we'll put Chuck on there. I wouldn't say, Ronda Rousey's a good one, but I wouldn't say her because she's not part of the there's a reason why we have Ronda Rousey, and there's a reason why all the women are involved. And of course, Ronda Rousey was a big part of that spearhead and that movement. But without MMA, there was no Ronda Rousey. And without the founding fathers of mixed martial arts, without your Randys, without your Chucks, without your Fedors, your Hoyces, but not the Randy. Who's the fourth one? Go on, Brian.
If you needed a woman on there, I think it would probably either be Gina Carano or Cyborg.
No, you're out of your goddamn
Why?
mind.
They were like, Cyborg was a monster that proved women could knock other women out. And Gina Carano
there was a lot of women fighters around long before both of them.
Yeah, exactly. There was. And none of them two were anywhere near as influential as Ronda Rousey when it came down to it, if you've got to be honest.
See, I think you need a John Jones. I think you need a John. It has nothing to do with, it does help that he's the greatest of all time. But I think that he changed the game and how it's played. Like his style.
George St. Pierre would be that guy. George St. Pierre.
I don't agree with that. I think he was just really good at what he did. But I think what he did was fairly basic. He was very, very, very good at it. Like he's a fantastic wrestler. He's a very clean striker. He's just very, very good. But like the things that John Jones did then when he kind of first broke out was different. We'd never seen anybody fight as free and flowy and take the chances and the risks. But now that's all you see. O'Malley and Cory Sandhagen and Adesanya and like all of them have that very similar style. But John was like the first.
Yeah, I'm not necessarily going to disagree with that. I'm just disagreeing with.
I am thinking of another.
He's modern wing though. He's modern wing. I keep thinking. I'd throw Nogueira on there as well. I'd throw Nogueira on there.
I wouldn't argue that.
It's two Brazilians, but still, Vale Tudor, anything goes. That's where it all started. Anyway, let's get back to the notes. Speaking of Conor McGregor and his counterpart, Nate Diaz, forever linked. You see that Eddie Hearn has been trying to contact Nate Diaz to fight Canelo Alvarez. Harrington, explain.
Whoever's friends with Nate Diaz and keeps deleting those text messages is a good friend.
It looks like Harrington ran to the bathroom, but
he ran for a little pee-pee.
The only explanation is that Eddie Hearn wants to see Nate Diaz die. Oh, here he is.
Harrington, we're just talking about Eddie Hearn, Nate Diaz. Give us some more details.
So he went on Ariel's show. He said that he had a friendly conversation with Nate, nothing crazy yet, but he is interested in setting up a match for him. And one of the possible opponents that he said by name is Canelo Alvarez fight. Yeah.
I mean, of course, Eddie Hearn's a promoter. He's looking to make money. Nate Diaz is a big, big star. He's a massive draw. And again, just kind of like the Francis Ngannou Anthony Joshua situation, you're bringing in a complete other fan base. You know what I mean? And then you're bringing in a boxer fan base. So you're combining the boxing fan base with the MMA fan base, and that just creates millions and millions and millions of dollars for everybody involved. Very, very smart business sense. Very smart business sense. And in terms of being a promoter, it's great. And in terms of being Nate Diaz and putting dollars in the bank, really, really good as well. You know, and that's the kind of stuff that Nate Diaz wants. Don't think he stands a cat's helling chance of winning the fight. But if it does go ahead, I hope for him he makes ridiculous amounts of money, and he probably would.
Oh, for sure. And I'm all about guys getting large sums of money. I think it seems very silly to even consider breaking down the X's and the O's to that. I think we know how that's going to go. But I hope he gets paid. He's mad at me for some reason.
Who, Diaz?
Yeah, he thinks I'm a dumb fuck. That's what he said on Twitter.
That's right.
Yeah, he's mad at me.
Oh, hey, let's have a look. Anthony Smith says he can't get enough of Dana White's Power Slap League. They're my type of people. Anthony Smith is a dumb fuck.
I don't know why people are so offended.
Oh, yeah.
I don't get it.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
For the UFC being paid to say it, and Michael Bisping's being paid to say it.
Last night, I was having a conversation with Dan Helly, right? Mm-hmm. Dan Helly, NFL broadcaster, but obviously works on the Contender and does the weigh-in shows and stuff like that.
Football too.
Yeah. By the way, Dan Helly, what a great guy.
He's good.
No, but I mean, as a person, he's just awesome.
Yeah, he is.
Yeah. What a guy. He's got a great sense of humor, very humble, down to earth. So shout out Dan Helly. But we were having a conversation last night about the slap thing, because he said, wow, Mike, he said, you are getting buried in all the comments on social media, but he's not. We're doing it together. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. He said he hasn't any hatred towards him. He said, but it's all going. He said, I was going to reach out to you and say, how you doing, Mike? I said, I don't give a fuck. Oh God, it is what it is. Water off a duck's back. You know what I mean? He said, but I just don't get it. It's weird. It's crazy.
It's a weird anomaly. Like that I'm getting. Like, why are people so surprised that a man, me, who I've only supported myself on fighting for my entire adult life. I've literally spent my whole adult life punching people in the face for fucking money. Why is it so shocking that I enjoy watching someone else slap the fuck out of someone else? Like, why is that so surprising? I don't think it takes a whole shit ton of skill. Like, I don't know.
No, it doesn't.
It's entertaining. That's it. It stops there.
I'm not going to sit here and dress it up. But it is entertaining. It's entertaining as hell. It's shocking as a motherfucker. It's shocking.
There is a definite, clear delineation between the people who have the talent and don't, though. There was one dude who just stiff arm slapped a guy, and the guy looked at him like, "What was that?" And some of these dudes pull their arms back, and their arms whip, and they just knock the life out of somebody.
Yeah, well, do you know what though? There's some people
we're gonna get fucking roasted for this again.
I don't
talking
give a
about
shit.
It again.
I don't give a shit, but I'm slightly moving away from it. But there's not technique, but what there is that, and you'll know this, Anthony. Growing up, you know, I'm sure you know plenty of fisticuffs and fights and you know whatever. Then shit kicks off when you're growing up. I had a couple of friends, and they just had this ability to knock someone out. You know, there was one of my buddies. Some
people are just born with it.
So one of my buddies, he wasn't even a big guy. Do you know what I mean? But if he ever did, and he did do it quite a lot, when he cracked someone, they normally went to sleep. Do you know what I mean? Because he was known for, he just had knockout power. And some people are just blessed with that. And there's one guy, I forget his name off the top of my head on the slap, and he reminds me of an old friend of mine. And I forget his name. And he's just blessed with that kind of knockout power. And you see that in the UFC sometimes. Some people just have that touch of death. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Did you have any friends like that? Or were you the friend?
No, I've never been a guy that's been blessed with crazy power. I'm accurate. My timing is good, but I'm not the guy that's going to just, you know, like, I'm not like Rumble was, you know, where you can touch any part of their head and they go to sleep.
Or a Rampage back in the day.
Yeah. No, you know, I got a couple teammates that are a lot like that, where they just, you know, like Cody Brundage, if he hits you, like, you're going to know it every time. And he doesn't he just got natural power in his hands. It's nothing he's ever been taught. It's just how his punches land. It just works for his body mechanics, how he naturally moves. And you know what? I think Brian has a point there. I think some guys are just born with it. They're just built a little bit different. And I enjoy it for what it is. Like,
you're just a good old fashioned redneck.
It's a circus freak show. It's entertainment. Like that. I love it. It's
the Kardashians. But the slapping.
Right. And it's weird that Nate Diaz has such a problem that I enjoy watching it. Like for a man who, when's the last time he balled his fist up and hit somebody? Like, what are we talking about?
He's always slapping people.
Always.
At press conferences, at fights, in car parks. You know what I mean? He gets in a lot of skirmishes.
I get it. People are uncomfortable. Whatever.
If we were to say, you just made me think of something, who would we list? I mean, or we'll say top 3 hardest hitters in all of mixed martial arts. I think Anthony Rumble Johnson, definitely top 3.
For sure. I think Francis Ngannou.
Oh, shit. Francis. Yeah. Francis.
Rumble.
Derrick Lewis.
For sure.
We're going to say pound for pound, though. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Obviously, otherwise it's going to be dominated by heavyweights.
I'd probably say Rumble.
Yeah,
honestly.
Yeah.
Because he knocked out people in like 4 different weight classes. 170, 85, light heavy, and he knocked Arlovsky out at heavyweight.
Which it was just wild, wasn't it, that he was at 170 and then he couldn't even make 185 or 205 or whatever it was.
He missed like 10 pounds over.
Yeah. What a maniac. It's like, wow.
Who do you think?
Well, I mean,
I'm trying to think of like 55ers and 70 pounders.
Rumble,
that are just insanely
Rampage hit hard.
Yeah.
Rampage had a hard hit. Fedor, definitely. You know, he wasn't the biggest heavyweight, but he could slaughter some people with his power. Chuck Liddell back in the day, he had a good crack, but I don't think it was up there with the likes of Rumble.
No. Or even Rampage.
Interesting. That's a nice little YouTube video that I might do one day.
Yeah, that's a fun one.
Hardest hitters in all of mixed martial arts. All right, did you know Manscaped is now selling beard products? That is correct. They have gone from the waist to the face to help you replace that bulky razor with their brand new Beard Hedger Pro Kit. They have created the best tools for you to turn heads with a clean, perfectly groomed and conditioned beard. Finally, tame your mane by going to manscaped.com. Use the code BISPING20 for 20% off plus free shipping. As we know, Manscaped, they are the world's leader in men's below the waist grooming. But that is not all they do. As I said, they have this beard trimmer now. It's got 20 lengths. It's got a titanium coated T-blade. The lengths are it's adjustable. There's not loads of like little attachments lying all around the place. And it's quality. Like all the Manscaped products, this thing is absolutely sensational. It's got a great battery on it and all the rest of it. Trust me, if you're looking for a beard trimmer, face trimmer, this is the way to go. I absolutely love it. So thank you to Manscaped. Also, beard shampoo and conditioner. They've got that. They've got beard oil. They've got beard balm. If you need anything for your face, for your beard, for your balls, they got ball toners. They got all types of stuff. If you need men's grooming products and you want to try out this, the brand new beard trimmer, as I say, go to manscaped.com and you're going to get 20% off when you use the code BISPING20. That is 20% off when you go. Oh, and free shipping. That's a good one. 20% off and free shipping when you go to manscaped.com. Use the code BISPING20 and you get the Beard Hedger Pro Kit. There it is. That's what it's called. The Beard Hedger Pro Kit for the premier solution to face grooming. What else? What's going on in your life, Anthony? What are you doing this week?
Man, I'm traveling out again tomorrow. Gonna get back to training.
Yeah.
I'm just waiting on this opponent.
I'm off to Australia shortly after this. I still haven't fully finished packing yet. I mean, I did the bulk of it. Say again.
How long you gone for?
2 weeks, 2 days, 2.5 weeks, 2.5 weeks. Yeah.
Is Rebecca going with you?
She is. Yeah. The two of us.
Nice.
To the airport shortly after this. Yeah. Looking forward to it. It's nice. Nice to get away. We're so lucky her parents are coming over. They live in Malaysia. They're flying out for this. And yeah, they'll be at the house taking.
I bet they have a lot of fun flying over and spending that kind of quality time with Lucas too.
They love it. Exactly. They love it, because they get quality time and,
and mom and dad are out of the way.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So, no, we're very, very lucky. But no, it's going to be nice. Obviously it's weird because it's going to be a work trip. I'm going to be working. I've got to do research for the fights. I've got to do a weighing show. I've got to do a few other obligations whilst we're out there. We've got fighter meetings and stuff like that. And so Rebecca's going to think it's all holiday vacation mode. But she's got her best friend in the whole world there, Tina. So she'll go hang out with Tina. My old mate, DJ Jacko. When I used to DJ, it was me and my mate Jacko. DJ Mikey B and Jacko back to back. I haven't seen he lives in Perth. He moved out there years ago. And he's doing great. He's crushing it. So we have been talking. He can't wait to see him. He's like, do you need picking up from the airport and stuff? I'm like, bro. And he is a party animal. He is a party animal. I'm like, dude, just so you know, it ain't 2001 anymore. Okay?
Shit, I'm working the too.
You're working the what?
I'm working the fights too.
In Bristol?
In Bristol, yeah.
Yeah, nice. Well, it'll be a little bit colder in Bristol. Did you see Liam Neeson talking about Conor McGregor?
I had seen it for a couple days and I never read it. And and then I finally read it today and him just shitting all over the UFC. Or the sport, I suppose.
Brian, play the video. Because I don't know.
I read the quote.
Listen to this.
UFC, I can't stand. That to me is like a bar fight. And I know the practitioners will say, no, you're wrong. The months of training we do. Why don't you just grab a beer bottle and hit the other guy over there? That's the next stage from UFC. That little LeBron, Conor McGregor. Oh, please. He gives Ireland a bad name. I know he's fit, and I admire him for that, but can't take it. Next time I come into Dublin Airport, Mason, show you. UFC, I can't stand.
Yeah. So, Harrington, where was he doing that? Because it looked like to me that was like, because I did this thing for GQ recently. I don't know, things I can't live without. And you kind of being a little bit silly. It looked to me like he was doing like a little thing like that because it looked like he was having a little bit of fun. What do you think? Do you think he was being jovial or do you think he means what he says?
I don't know. When you read the quote, it sounds like shit. But
when you read the quote, it sounds awful. I was like, whoa.
Yeah, like, damn. It did seem like maybe parts of that he was being a little, I don't know, like exaggerating a little bit. Yeah.
It was in jest. He was jesting.
Yeah.
Harrington, are you there?
Yeah, sorry. I was doing some research. He was doing an interview for Men's Health. So.
Yeah, I thought so. Yeah. I mean, look, listen, Liam Neeson is not the demographic that generally is going to like mixed martial arts.
Where's
and
he
from?
What?
Ireland.
Is he from Ireland? Okay.
Yeah, he's Irish, yeah. Yeah, the clues in the accent, right, Anthony.
Well, that's what I thought, but like in his movies, I've never caught like an Irish accent in his movies before.
It's the acting thing.
Yeah. That makes a lot of sense.
Sometimes when I talk like this, I'm not Russian either, Anthony,
That's the first time I've ever heard him speak not in a film.
Yeah. Harrington, what are you going to say?
You should see Michael Collins. He really nails the Irish accent in that one. This is, by the way, the same guy who came out a while ago and said that after a friend of his was assaulted, his first instinct was to take to the streets and look for the first black guy he could find and attack him. And it's like, really? You're going to throw shade at a UFC fighter? Really? Glass houses much?
He also habitually pees himself in public, so that's a...
Wait,
well,
what?
I don't know about the habitually peeing himself in public. You can't just come on and make that quote. Yeah, habitually. I mean, Brian's out of his mind. Habitually. Listen, he's a major movie star. If he's walking around pissing his pants constantly, I think we'd know about that.
How does Brian know this? Brian, fill us in, please.
It's like a fucking thing. Hold on, I'm pulling it up right now.
I'll pull it up at my end as well.
Oh God! I'm gonna pull. You know what? We all pull.
No.
Look. Hold on. There's a picture of him peeing his pants. There's a picture of his pants peed. There's a picture of his pants.
Where?
It is a lot of pictures of him peeing his pants.
There's a lot of pictures of him with his pants pissed.
He spills lots of drinks.
He drinks a lot and he pees himself a lot. This is a thing that people know.
I like him even more. God bless him. He's a goddamn Irishman and they like to drink, all right? And when he drinks, he may pee his pants. And like that little McGregor, that little leprechaun, so fucking what? He's a leprechaun and he likes to pee his pants, brain, right? I met Liam Neeson. I was there because he was in the 18 movie and Rampage was in the 18 movie. Rampage was B.A. Baracus. And we were at the premiere in London and I got to have a quick chat. He was a lovely guy. He was a lovely guy. Yeah, no, he was really nice.
Was his pants wet?
I don't know. I didn't look. I wasn't staring at his dick.
Chances are.
Chances are I would have been lucky to make it home without pissing my pants that night. I was very intoxicated. I was talking to Chris Eubank as well. Do you know who Chris Eubank is?
The boxer?
Yeah, the boxer, yeah. Very, very eccentric man. Yeah. I didn't go into the movie.
You're talking about the dad, right? What's it?
Yeah,
the old man? Yeah.
My mate Jacko that I'm going to see in Perth, we were both there. This is 2011. They had a free bar. So we just stayed at the bar. We didn't even watch the film. We just stayed at the bar the whole time and got wasted chatting away to Chris Eubank and Liam Neeson. We had a great old time.
I bet that was a fantastic conversation.
It was. I can't remember too much about it, though. Harrington, what should we get to? Throw something at us. Come on to the show. How are you, buddy? How are baby preparations going at the Harrington household?
Dude, everything is going great. The stroller is built. The crib is getting here this week, and that's the last thing. Other than that, we are ready.
All right. Are you getting gifts sent?
Oh, dude, we are. Thank you so much, Michael Bisping. I got a beautiful Precious Moments lamb that you sent here that is just the cutest thing we've ever seen.
That is not it. See, this is the thing.
What?
Rebecca went to town, right? She's a nightmare. Anytime anyone's having a baby, she's all about it. And Harrington sends through a little thank you because there's a little baby lamb, right? And I said to Rebecca, I said, is that it? Is that what you sent? Harrington does great work on the podcast. We really, really appreciate all your efforts and what you bring to the show. And it wouldn't be the same without you or Brian. I said, and out of that extensive list that he very cheekily sent to us, you choose a little lamb. She's like, no, I sent about 20 things, or well, maybe not 20, but I sent several things, some big items.
Wow. I mean,
so the lamb is the first.
Mine's on the way, Harrington. Mine's on the way.
I appreciate it, Anthony. By the way, it's not for this narrative that I cheekily sent something to you. You asked me specifically where my baby registry is.
And by the way, people want to know. Mm-hmm. I saw people in the comments. They want to see whether you should post a register in the comments because the believers want to buy some things. Harrington.
Oh, he's been doing that for months.
No, I know, but some of the believers in the comments were saying,
it's down.
Drop that link. Drop that link in the YouTube. I give you full permission.
Wait, have you picked a name?
Oh yeah,
I know.
I think we said it on the show. Aura Jane.
Say it again.
Aura is her first name. Jane's going to be her middle name.
Jane. Where are you going to fit in?
High school's going to be tough.
Anthony. Michael.
Brian. High school's going to be tough.
I got Mike and Alex a baby food processor so they could make sure they can feed their child.
Yeah, good.
You are not going to make your own baby food, are you?
I don't know.
I bought them a thing to do it.
Look,
Rebecca used to purify up all vegetables and stuff like that, make her own baby food. It didn't last for long. The novelty was off.
Yeah, it's not going to last long.
She's out. It's Ellie's birthday today. So she's out buying a birthday cake for her. 20 years old. So Harrington, it kind of ties in. It flies by. Right? It seems like yesterday, my little Ellie was born. 20 bloody years old today. 20 years old. Anyway, give us a story, Harrington.
MMA or non-MMA?
Oh, for crying out loud. Harrington, Anthony, your choice.
Well, I bet it's stupid, but let's go non-MMA.
It'll be stupid.
It'll be stupid.
Because I can see what they are, and they're all awful.
Okay, I'm wondering how you guys would react to this. A plane was grounded in Iceland for a plane.
This is the stupidest one. I saw this. I was on the couch. Right, I was very grumpy. I've had hardly any sleep. Right, I'm like, Rebecca, look at this shit. that Harrington wants us to discuss. And there's one or two that I'm looking at that were okay. And this is the one you choose. But go ahead, tee Anthony up.
So like I said, just want to know how you guys would react to being stuck on a plane for 10 hours and some idiot breaks out the acoustic guitar.
No. No.
Look at how mad they look.
No, I'd lose my shit.
Oh, I would smash that guitar up.
Oh, well, I don't fit on planes that well anyways. There's one. Two, I have a system when I get on the plane. I have a really small bladder, so I have to pee all the time. So like
I always want an aisle.
Yeah, I need a window because I need something to lean up against because I'm just wide. So like my shoulders are so wide, so I can at least
big and manly.
I wouldn't say big, but I'm wide, so I have to lean against.
Wide.
Well, if there's someone in the middle, then I can lean away from that person against the window and try to sleep. But if I'm stuck on a plane on a runway for 10 hours.
But hold on. If you started the conversation by saying you had a weak bladder. If you've got a weak
I
bladder,
time
you want the aisle, because otherwise every time you're going to get excuse me, sorry, my bad, excuse me, sorry.
I'm going through all the things that are going to make me mad is the constant having to go to the bathroom because you're stuck on a plane longer than you're supposed to be. And then I need to sleep. So I sleep the majority of all my flights. But if I'm stuck awake because someone's playing this goddamn guitar and then I'm constantly having to pee and I'm walking around a lady playing the guitar, oh my God, I would lose my shit.
That I would lose my mind. And to be fair, not a bad story, but it was the way you put it in the notes. You put a woman sings Country Road to a grounded plane that was stranded for 10 hours. If you said on a grounded plane, that's a very different thing. I thought, what is this story? Because I didn't click on it. She's some weirdo singing to an aeroplane and Harrington wants us to discuss it. I was like, what is this? So just the words, Harrington, they're wrong. But yeah, no. I'm not into that at all. Right. Mm-hmm. Number one, you're already stressed out to the max and then they pull that out. I'm just going to, you're not going to like this. You're not going to, do you know what that is? Do you know what that is? That is American as fuck.
Yeah,
that is the most American. English people don't do that.
To think that you're so good that everybody needs to hear you, whether they want to or not, is America.
That's it, isn't it? That's it. Everyone's pissed off to the max, and they think, "Oh, I'm going to whip out the acoustic guitar, give you a little rendition. You're going to put a smile on your face."
No idea how good I am. You need to hear this. Like no. You get the fuck out of here.
The type of people also on a plane that when you land, they all give a little round of applause.
Oh my gosh. Every time I walk to the airport, I always think of something that I hate that's happening at the moment. And I've always thought, like, I need to put together a list and just every episode that we do, just give another thing that I'm so insufferable, like in the airport and on planes. Like I hate flying with my family.
That's why I drive to the Apex all the time.
Fuck up my system.
I don't have to fly.
Yeah, like when my wife and kids are around, I can't stand it because I have like a system. I'm efficient, like I got it down, and it just messes it up. Oh my God, it drives me crazy. But and what made me think of this? So thinking of airports, there's not a whole lot of things that frustrate me more than when you get on the little walkway that you walk on, and then two people are standing on the walkway talking to each other so that you can't walk by them. It's frustrating.
But hold on, there's a line, there's a queue. So regardless whether or not they're talking to one another, you would still be pushing in.
No, I'm talking about the movie.
You're talking about the little jetty thing, the thing that comes along and like,
No. I'm talking about when you're going in the terminal and there's the little moving walkway that like speeds up when you're walking.
So sorry. Like the travelator.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. It's like, it's not a ride. It's not a ride. What are you doing? Move I always say, slide over, dickhead. I don't say dickhead, but I'm like, excuse me. It's not a ride. It's to aid you. So when you're walking, you go faster.
Right. No, it's a lot of people think this is a free ride.
Question for you, Anthony.
Mm-hmm.
Do you know the part of when you're waiting in line at the gate to board the plane? And it has that thing and it's controlled by remote control and it attaches to the plane and then you walk down it before you get on. I forget what they call that. I don't know what.
The jetway?
The jetway. I think it might be the jetway, yeah. What is this film? There's a guy. He's dropped a lady off at the airport and she's left something in her car. No, he sees her leave something on the floor, and he runs after her, and the guy goes, no, sorry, boarding stopped. And he says, don't worry, I'm a limo driver. And he runs down it.
Dumb and Dumber.
You just see him fall off. Dumb and Dumber. I love that film.
I got one.
You got it. Round of applause for Anthony Smith, everyone. What a film. I love Dumb and Dumber.
Oh,
it is hilarious. So good. Yeah, no, Rebecca wants to get to the airport super early. I mean, to be fair, she's excited. She never gets to go. You know, we're going business class, so she wants to go to the lounge and everything, look around at the duty free and do some bloody shopping. You know, so we're going to leave nice and early. But it's a long old flight. What is it? 16 hours to Melbourne. And then from there, like 4.5 or something like that to Perth. So it's a bitch of a journey.
Business class?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
We got the bed. We'll get the lie flat beds. It'll be great. Because I'm tired, so I'm going to sleep like a baby.
Mm-hmm.
I hope so. Okay, today's episode is brought to you by Shopify. Look, you've heard the ad before. If you have a business, if you're an entrepreneur, if you're selling something, then you have to be online. And Shopify makes that very easy, affordable, and it simplifies the whole thing. And on top of that, you can customize your online store with your style, connect with new customers to drive growth, and even maintain the relationships that will help keep them coming back no matter how big you want to grow. Every minute, new sellers around the world are revolutionizing their business and making their first sales with Shopify. And once you start selling, Shopify makes getting paid super simple because you can instantly accept every type of payment. Also, Shopify grows with your business no matter how far or big you grow. Thanks to an endless list of integrations and third-party apps, things like, Facebook, TikTok, Instagram, all those type of things. And you can even get on-demand printing to accounting to chatbots, everything that you need to revolutionize your business. Also, you want marketing made simple? Well, Shopify removes the guesswork with built-in tools that help you create, execute, and analyze your online marketing campaigns. Running a growing business means getting the insights that you need wherever you are. With Shopify's single dashboard, you can manage orders, shipping, and payments from wherever you are in the world. And as I said, this is cheap because all you got to do is sign up right now for $1 per month for the trial period at shopify.com/believe, all lowercase. Go to shopify.com/believe. Take your business to the next level today and do it by paying $1 per month. $1 per month. Shopify.com/believe. Harrington, what else should we talk about? Oh, go on.
Well, yeah, man, I'm assuming you just saw what I was going to come on to say. Vera versus Sandhagen, no longer going to be at the Apex on February 18th. It is now the main event for UFC San Antonio. Blanchfield versus Santos moved up to the main event on the 18th.
Yeah. I was going to mention that actually, which is perfect. They need to do that. I mean, and it just shows what kind of star Chito Vera is becoming, because I think there was some kind of public outcry, right? Everyone in the comment section and stuff like that on Instagram and all the places was kind of like bitching about it. And I'm happy because I'm commentating that one in San Antonio. So I'm going to be there. Are you going to be in San Antonio, Anthony?
I'm going to be. I'm actually be there.
Whoa. No. This is good. What do you think about that fight, by the way?
I love that fight. I like fights that are just two guys that are polar opposite styles. So, Sandhagen's a little more creative and dramatic in his movements. And Chito is kind of he's like I don't know. It's like he just goes into the forest and just chops trees. He's just working. He's a working man. You know what I mean? It's never super flashy. He's just constantly chipping away at people. And it's a hard style to fight. So, I think they both deserve to be in a main event. They're both at the top of their division. I think there's a lot of stakes and a lot of implications attached to this fight. I like it stylistically for Chito.
Yeah. Well, it's a great fight stylistically for the fans in the building. That's why main event, 25 minutes, full house, 20,000 people in San Antonio. They're going to go crazy. Against Dominic Cruz in San Diego. Of course, that's Cruz's backyard. The atmosphere was goddamn incredible. And when he connected with that head kick and knocked him out, oh my God. I felt for Dom. I really did.
So did I.
You know what I mean? But also at the same time, you got to admire the knockout that you've just seen. You know what I mean?
Chito's walkout was awesome too.
I can't remember it.
Oh, it was like a reggae song.
Right.
He had his shirt off, and the green lights were going all over the place. And
he's
he
a
had
cool
lot
guy.
of fans there. He's like super cool. Like he's just one of the cool cats.
He is a cool guy. We'll have to get him on the show again. All right, well, we're going to have to keep it kind of short today, guys, because I am leaving for the airport. It is Sunday. You'll be watching this at the usual time, Monday night, but we're a little sneaky devil. We did this one on the Sunday. If you have questions, please send them into the bympod@gmail.com. Harrington.
If you're enjoying this show on Spotify, iTunes, or wherever you find podcasts, make sure you subscribe there. Leave a 5-star rating, positive review. It really helps us out. If you're watching on YouTube, make sure you subscribe to the channel and you hit that notification bell to find out whenever a new episode drops. And if you want to catch over 400 episodes ad-free and completely uncensored, head to gasdigitalnetwork.com. Use the promo code BYM. Get a 7-day free trial. Check out over 20 great shows on the network.
Please do. Please do.
All right. Did we tell everybody about the plan for the chip challenge?
Well, the plan for the chip challenge, and by the way, is Rebecca here? Because you sent the chips to the house, right?
I did.
We've got a bunch of them here already.
What do you mean?
We've got four of the one chip challenges.
Did I send 4?
No. Because Rebecca was like, we've already got these. Because I was going to do them. We were going to do it with the families, like a little YouTube video. A long time ago, but we never got around to doing it. Thank God.
Mine's probably more fresh than the ones that you have.
It's the same brand. It's the exact same one.
What about the expiration date? I mean,
I don't know about the expiration, but it's the same.
We're checking your goddamn expiration date for sure. We get no old ass decrepit.
It loses the
mild
spiciness.
chips.
It probably gets worse.
Yeah, it probably does. No. So and by the way, Anthony was all on board with this, but I'm exhausted and I'm running off to the airport. I haven't had any sleep. I'm tired. I've got a headache and I'm going off to the airport. I'm like, it's not that I'm against doing it. I am all about it. As said, I have 4 because I was going to do it on another thing on YouTube, but we'll do it for this. I'm not rushing off to the airport going, and I'm tired. I'm not in the mood. You know what I mean? But when we get back and I've got nowhere to be and we can milk it and we can have fun, right? We'll do it then.
You're going to need some milk.
Yeah. Well,
you are going to need some milk.
Brian, what do we have? Question-wise.
All right, so this first question here is from Ben Smith.
Guys, big fan of the show. As we've been talking about the Ultimate Fighter lately, that's what my question's surrounding. So the first one is for you, Michael. Although you've said this moment that's made you cringe when you watch yourself back, I remember a very young Michael Bisping playing football with Kendall Grove and him falling into a cactus and getting stuff stuck all over his hands, as well as you beating Ross Poynton for the second time and shouting over, "Don't ever try and fight me again." Those for me were hilarious, but what was the funniest moment in the house for you? And Anthony, my UK adopted guy, when you turned pro, if you were to get into the UFC via the Ultimate Fighter, who would have been your choices of coaches back then? Also, Harrington, go and have some more homeless fucking threesomes or whatever the fuck you do. Anyway, guys, love the show. Keep up the good work. Peace out.
That's a good little set of questions. Harrington with Dirty Mike and the boys. Okay. I don't know why I'm thinking of this. It wasn't exactly the funniest. But when I was on the Ultimate Fighter 3, did you ever watch that, Anthony? The third season? The third season, when I was a contestant.
No. Oh, no.
Right. Well, I thought we were friends. There was
Mike,
a character.
I was like 11 years old then.
There was a character called Noah Inhofer, right? Mm-hmm. And he was a big beast of a man. Do you know what I mean? He was my weight class as well. And I was eyeing him up as like, fucking, he might be a bit of an issue. And very nice guy. And I don't do this whole, what do you guys call it? Teabagging? Like with the toilet paper on something? You call it teabagging?
No, teabagging is where you drop your balls on someone's head.
That's bombing on for Halloween.
Yeah, but whatever. Yeah. So like Kendall and Ed Herman and a few others, they completely covered his bed and his bunk beds and everything, just like covered it all up in tissue paper. I must admit, I was like, what are you doing? It's a bit childish, but whatever. But they were all giddy and having a laugh about it. Whoever it was that did it, they were all because Noah was on the toilet taking a dump. And he says when he comes out and he walks out the toilet and he didn't respond whatsoever. And they go, "Yo, Noah, look." And he just went, "Oh, cool." and walked off. And everyone was like, what's going on? And we're like, are you okay? Are you okay? And he's like, no, I'm not okay. And we're like, everyone, it was a big thing. It was on the show. We're like, what's going on? And he's like, it's really bad, man. It's really bad. And we're like, what do you mean bad? Is somebody sick? He's like, no, worse. Because he got a letter sent to him and the producers decided to give it to him, right?
Oh, shit.
And we're like, well, what is it? It's like, someone died. And he's like, kind of. So we're all like super concerned for him and upset and all the rest of it. Turns out his girlfriend wrote him a letter saying that he's found out that he's been cheating on her, right?
Oh, shit.
And he wants to leave the show because he wants to make a phone call. And Dana and the producers, they're assholes. They knew what they were doing because they chose to give him the letter. Do you know what I mean?
They could have not given it to him.
They could have not given it. We didn't get letters, but this letter was a good one. Do you know what I mean? So the producers were like,
and they read it.
Fucking right, they read it. They must have done. So they're like, yeah, we'll give him this letter. And he's like, I gotta make a phone call. I gotta make a phone call and let her know. And so he calls a meeting with Dana, and the whole thing's on the show. And they're like, can I make a call? And Dana's like, no chance. And he's like, Dana, I've got to make a phone call. And Dana's like, well, you don't think that everyone else here wants to make a phone call? And he's like, yeah, but my chick thinks I've cheated on her. I've got to give her a phone call. And he's like, well, you're on the Ultimate Fighter. How badly do you want this? You know, you can make a phone call, but you're leaving the show. Or you stay and you fight, and at the end of the show, you get to go back. And he goes, well, I'm going to leave. I'm going to leave. And then he goes, really? That's your choice? You're going to walk off this show? And he goes, yeah, I'm going to leave. And it's not really that funny, but he just said, what was the funniest thing? It was just one story that popped in my head.
He did leave.
And he fucking left the show. He left. And you know what? Fair play to him, because I don't know how, I stumbled across something on social media. He's still with that chick today. They're still together.
Still to this day.
Apparently so, from what I heard. I think Kendall Grove might have told me or something. Yeah. So he did go back. He saved the relationship, and they're still together to this day. So well done, Nolan.
Not in the UFC.
Not in the UFC. Homeless. Hasn't got a pot to piss in.
I'd have made that trade.
He was world champion material. I was like, thank God. he was some of my main competition. I'm like,
well,
yeah,
you probably better go.
I'm
you
like,
better go, bro.
If it's the love of your life, bro, she's the one. She's the one. You gotta go. Come on.
You can't let this one go, man. There's a lot of fish in the sea, but this one's the most important.
He was massive for the weight class. I'm like, bro, if she's the one, she's the one. You got to follow your heart. Go on. I'm packing these bags. Get out the fucking door. Go on. What was your question, Anthony?
Who would I want as a coach, I think was the question. You know, this one's probably a weird one, but I tried out for season 11, I believe. I don't even remember who the coaches ended up being season 11, but I really wanted to have, like, when I watched Chael coach, he just seems like a good motivator and coach. And back then, that's what I really wanted. I remember I sent Chael a Twitter message in like 2013, and the Twitter, this is so lame. The Twitter message said something about, like, I was getting ready to make my UFC debut and would love the opportunity to, like, train with him or something, because I was watching him at the time coach the Ultimate Fighter, and he responded like right away. I remember being so shocked that he responded to me, but that's probably what I would have chosen then. Now I don't know. I feel like, I don't know who's some of the coaches we've had.
So season 11 was Chuck versus Tito. If you got in that season, which coach would you have wanted to get?
Oh, Chuck Liddell, probably.
Tito. Tito was my coach, and I gotta tell you what, Tito was an awesome coach. I learned a lot. I really, really did.
He still has me blocked on Twitter.
Who does? Tito?
Tito. I don't even know why. It bothers me though. Oh, there we go.
See, look. Hold on, there's one.
What's the date here?
These are the ones that Rebecca got.
Those expired ones.
They're not expired.
I almost accidentally sent you one of those ones, but then I didn't want you to be like, you sent me the hottest one. So
these ones are hotter, are they?
I'm not sure.
Yeah,
I don't know which one's hotter.
I'm not being a bitch.
We could eat the whole chip, or we just eat
I've
taking a
got
bite
chips
of the chip.
galore.
No, you got to eat
Chips
the whole
Ahoy.
thing and chew it
You
up.
eat the whole, dude. I've watched people do it. My wife's done it twice, and like they only took a bite of the chip.
Nah, we gotta just put it.
No,
you got a big mouth. Just yop and fucking chew it up. You're good to go.
Well, okay, we'll do.
Bro.
We'll eat the whole chip, but then the next time we have to
Swimming in
start the episode by. You got to eat a mushroom to see how long we can make it before we have to end the show.
I'll eat mushrooms.
What, you mean like a
before the
magic
show.
mushroom?
Sure.
Whoa, hold on a minute. This is not the Joe Rogan podcast, okay? I'm not getting out of my mind high as I don't do mushrooms.
I don't
I'm
either.
certainly not, if
I've never done.
I was going to do it, I'm not going to do it live on a podcast. Did I be tripping my balls off?
It would be funny though. I've never done it either, but I just think it would.
We
just to see
will
how,
do
I bet
this.
we make it 35 minutes.
We will do this when I get back from Australia, just showing you the chips, just to let you know that, I'm not being a little bitch. What else we got? We got another question?
We do. We got two more. This one is from Matt Turner, and he wanted to warn everybody before he came on that he was a real ginger.
Oh, dear.
Yes, the BYM boys. My name's Matt. So I'm calling from a little town called Mold in North Wales, not too far from Mike's house in Manchester. The question I've got, obviously, I've just come out of the gym. I'm a ginger. With the announcement of McGregor fighting against Chandler, my question to you boys is, who is the best ginger UFC fighter ever? A few options, obviously. You've got Felder, Gaethje is my personal favourite, McGregor himself. Beesping with your beard, could you be a ginger? Yeah, let us know. Good luck in your next fight, Anthony, and fuck you, Harrington.
Yeah, well, fair enough. Favorite ginger? I'm going to take myself out of the running. I have a little bit of ginger if it gets long enough and the sun catches it a certain way. I'm sorry, my friend. I forget your name that sent the question in. Don't put us in the same boat, okay? You're full on ginger, right? It's an affliction. Deal with it. It's a shame.
He's like a special kind of translucent ginger, that dude.
He's that proper ginger that burns.
Yeah.
He's like a vampire. The sun gets on him, he instantly starts to crisp and singe. It's not Sam Alvey. No offense to Sam Alvey. He never got a mention.
No, he didn't get a mention. Who's another? Mark Bocek was a ginger, wasn't he? You remember him?
I think he was. Smaller guy, right? Like 155 or something.
He was pretty good. Was he redhead?
I'm going to say Gaethje.
Yeah, the best is probably Gaethje, probably.
Can't go wrong with Gaethje.
I have a ginger daughter.
You do?
One of my kids, yeah. My grandma had fiery red hair.
Now you made me feel really bad.
I mean, it's an affliction. We're working our way through it.
Yes.
Working our way through it.
Hey, Rebecca! Come here. There's a TV show in England. I think it's called the Catherine Tate Show. It's hilarious. Which is that show in England? Come here, come say it. Which is that show where they have the ginger and it's a real problem? Is it the Catherine Tate Show?
I don't know.
Oh, never mind. No, get out. Useless.
She's sick of your shit.
She's like, oh, yeah, she is. Are we packed up? Are we ready to go? Okay, good. I'm getting hungry as well. One more question, please. Brian? That's
Did you forget his name?
I couldn't even remember his name.
Yeah, we can't hear you, Brian.
Yeah, you're talking to yourself there, Brian, as well.
I am talking to myself. 1 second, guys. I was just looking for the ginger girl from the
Danielle
talking about. Yeah.
Oh, I think I sent it. Click on the link in the chat.
Yeah.
Hold on. I'll say this though. I'll say this: red hair on a woman is the opposite effect. I like a red hair.
Oh, I like. Yeah, absolutely. No,
a red-haired woman is beautiful, but a ginger guy,
it's
freckles.
Speaking of, we happen to have another one coming up, but he didn't warn us. Although he's not like translucent. No, this is Jeff from Australia.
Yeah, I don't know. He looks like, I don't know. What's up, Jeff?
Boys, been listening for a long time. Tucky from Australia. That's the best podcast I've ever listened to. Whitaker's my man. Woo!
Let's go.
I've had a few. Missus won't be happy. But anyway, just want to know, Anthony, Michael, is there anyone in your division obviously Anthony now, Michael former, that you feared, you didn't want to fight? I know you wouldn't take a backward step. I get that. But is there anyone that you just thought, fuck me, I do not want to fight that guy? Anyway, fair enough. I don't know what I'm saying. Brian, you're a fucking legend.
Woo! I like this guy.
I do too. He needs to send in more questions.
Definitely more questions from that guy.
Yeah.
And for people that want to have your questions answered, take inspiration from him. Tucker? Was it Tucker?
Tucky. Jeff Tucky.
Old Kentucky.
Old Tucky.
And he did the move. You know, anyone hands you barbecue tongs?
Mm-hmm.
You've always got to give him a little test.
Always.
Every time. There's always a little.
You have to.
I don't think there was anyone that was scared, but there was definitely some that you look at and you think, that'll be a tough fight.
Oh, yeah. There's
without question.
I've had a couple, actually. Like, in one of them, I did have to fight. Do you remember Husamar Palhares?
Oh, Husamar Palhares. Yeah, he was at middleweight as well.
Yeah, middleweight.
That's a good one because he was a son of a bitch because he was the type of guy that would just rip your ligaments in your knee to pieces.
And not let go.
Yeah.
So that was one where it's like, I just don't think I would. Not because I'm afraid of him. It's more that he's a loose cannon. The other one was Hector Lombard.
That's a really good one because I kind of had that same. I was like, I didn't want to fight him. I knew he was 185. I'm like, I'm not fighting that dickhead. Listen, it's one thing getting punched in the face, but if you get a heel hook and I tap and you still rip my leg off and I can't walk for 6 months and perhaps career over, get fucked.
Get fucked. Yeah, that guy really stood out to me when I was a middleweight. Hector Lombard a little bit, especially when he first came in, he was just, that guy's just a motherfucker. You know, he just hits hard, super explosive. He's strong as shit. And I ended up fighting him, you know, and it was exactly how I thought it would be. It's going to suck for a while and you're going to outlast him and, you know, probably get a finish.
He didn't like me. I'm surprised we didn't fight as well. We nearly came to blows a few times. Out in Australia, he was chatting some shit. When I fought Rockhold the second time in the lobby of the hotel, he was trying to fight me in the lobby of the hotel. I was just laughing. I wasn't even getting mad. I'm like, dude, what are you doing?
He was a little bit of loose cannon.
Everyone's holding him back. He had about 4 of his guys that holding him back, and I'm like,
I trash talked him the whole training camp too, because he made me so nervous that I just went hard in the paint on the steroid thing the whole time.
Well, it's in the intro to the show. You know my name yet?
Yeah, I let him have it. I just emotionally abused him the whole lead up to the fight.
Yeah, I'm trying to think. I don't know. It seems like a long time ago. Of course, there's people that I was like, shit, that guy would be a tough fight. I'm trying to think of one name now. He mentioned Robert Whittaker there. How good was Robert last week? Oh, shit. No, you came right on at the end.
No, I went back and listened to it. It was incredible.
Yeah. So Rob.
We've had a couple really good guests. Like Michael Chandler knocked it out of the park. Robert Whittaker is incredible.
We've had some great guests recently. Thank you to all of them for coming on. We've got Derek Brunson on deck. It would have been today, but I'm leaving for the airport, so didn't do it. Talking of leaving for the airport, I got to wrap this one up, guys, because I got to go to the airport. We will be back on Thursday. I will be in Australia.
Yeah, maybe. Well, I'm going to be traveling to Bristol. So we're gonna
you are.
We're gonna have to get creative with some timing, but I think we can
figure it out. We'll figure it out.
Yeah.
But in the meantime, you guys be well. Take care. See you soon.